So we wanted to do a review of our Jayco Jayfeather X23B because I think for us at least when we were going to buy this unit, which is back in 2017, December 2017, the only stuff that we could find was really dealer, advertisements about it, and so I figured it might be helpful for people who watch our channel to just, who are curious about our trailer, but also for anybody thinking about buying one of these hybrid travel trailers. It might be nice to hear from someone who owns one what we think about it. So we'll start outside and then we'll come back in and show you around, show you what we like, and mostly that's all we have because we haven't found a lot that we don't like. Overall, I think for folks who are constrained by their tow vehicle but still want a lot of the modern conveniences, overall this is a really great rig that you can tow behind a vehicle that doesn't have a lot of tow capacity. And so for us, I think it's going to be a great intermediate coach until we're ready to step up into the big leagues with a truck and a fifth wheel. And so yeah, let's jump outside and take a look. So I know this is a RV tour, but one of the things I wanted to show you that's very RV pertinent, if you will, is one of the upgrades we did to Nadia's 4Runner, which makes a huge difference for towing. Obviously, we had this vehicle before we had the trailer, so we were constrained in what trailer we could get, but we shot the moon probably relative to what we can tow and stuff like that. So one of the things that I did, and let me see if I can't fix the view here, if I get that to focus, there we go. We added the Firestone airbag system. So what they did was they went in and they took out this little black cylinder that normally lives inside the coil there, and there's one on the other side under there as well. You can barely see it through the rear end. They put these airbags in there, and then there's a fill valve here on the back of the vehicle, just under here, pretty hidden, tucked out of the way under our bumper, but it makes a huge difference. I just pumped him up to about 48.5 pounds of pressure, so it's sitting pretty stink bug right now while our driveway's a hill, but there's a lot more clearance there than there normally is, and it goes a long way towards helping to support the weight of this beast, which we are rated to be able to tow this trailer, especially because we never have full tanks. Until we get the solar, we're going to mostly be on hookups, and until we get a nice truck, but that makes a big difference. And then the other upgrade that we made is to the inside, which was to basically install this brake controller right here, and so we're able to make sure that the trailer brakes are actually synced up with the vehicle brakes. And so I think those two things together with the fact that we've got this sway bar or sway control hitch system gives me a lot of peace of mind when we're pretty much pushing the limits on what we can actually tow with our vehicle. So one of the nice things that we have the option to do, even though it didn't come with, is they gave us enough room up front to put another battery in parallel here. We got plenty of room if we want to, and I love that they gave us the dual propane bottles up front. So this auto tongue jack is the bomb. Wasn't that big of a deal on the pop-up. You're always kind of cranking the jack manual by hand, and it's not a big deal, but man, it's nice when you can just kind of throw a couple blocks under there and just sit there and push the button down. The other nice thing is there's no poles, so in our pop-up there was a lot of poles that you'd have to set up when you're putting down the beds. There's these very heavy bars and rods, and I'll show you on the inside, but basically these are what hold up the bed, those little rods. So here's one of the upgrades that we made fairly early on, is one of these See if I can get it in focus a little better. One of these squeeze end caps for where our stinky slinky goes. So you can see it's got these grooves. I wouldn't necessarily call this an upgrade. Well, I guess it is an upgrade. But more of a replacement, because on our very first trip that thing popped out and we lost it somewhere on the road. So we just got one of these. Well, we got the drill dedicated, but we got one of these socket tool adapter here. This one's a well, I'll put a link to it in the description in any case, but just makes it super easy. You go in, pop it on, and you know, lower down your jacks just like that. So it just makes life a lot easier. Helps to get our setup time down to something that's much slower. So the storage passes all the way through, and it's a pretty good size. This side is where I keep all the camp setup stuff, or tools, you know, all of the stuff associated with the stinky slinky and what have you. But we got a nice just dedicated Stanley toolbox that we got on Amazon. I'll put a link to. But it's nice just to know that your tools are always here and you don't have to like take stuff back out, because we're not full-timers obviously, and so we didn't want to go, you know, oh shoot, we forgot to pull the wrench back out, or where's that crescent wrench, or what have you, or where'd my channel locks go. And so we got just a dedicated set that we can leave in here. This is where our city water hooks up. Our slide, obviously, this is where the whole couch area is. And then, yeah, all of our electrical and sewer is over here. The outside, I think, is very appealing to the eye. It looks like a nice, clean rig. Okay, so here's the vital statistics on this trailer. Well, besides my VIN number, obviously, but you can have 948 pounds of cargo, and a full tank of water is about 400 pounds, 399 pounds. So that saves. That's why when I said we're 5350, that's more than what our trailer, or what our vehicle should actually be towing, but we never have the 400 pounds of water in there. When it was at the factory, it was with full propane and the full fuel is 4402. So the dry weight is supposed to be about 4250 if you just look at the specs on the website. But with the options and everything that we got, I think that's probably the 2 TVs, which aren't standard or whatever. That's what makes up the difference between the 4250 and the 4402 dry weight that we have. And then that's why when you throw in this 948 of cargo is how you get to your 5350. So I don't expect we'll ever be 5350. And then focus, it comes with this quick connect gas adapter. And so what we did was we took this normal, let me close the aperture down again. So what we did was we took this, which is the original adapter piece that comes with the road trip grill, and it had a little brass fitting here on the end that basically links it with the grill. And then I made a little kind of junction here, which is like I think these are all just like 3/8 fittings. So, and you can see the original road trip grill adapter thing that I ripped off that piece I showed you earlier. And then I just have a series of 3/8 pieces, basically taking that all the way down to our quick connect adapter that you're seeing right down here. And so now that's just tapped into our you know, our propane that we have up there. And is actually probably the best time to come through to show you what it's like when people are actually hanging out in the rig. Nadia's sitting there doing Sudoku. The kids are kind of sitting on the couch. They're on the couch. They're not really sitting, but that's where they are. I was back in the back doing some stuff with my videos. Everyone's watching TV. So this is kind of like what it's like when everyone's slobbing out and it's super windy outside. This is the front bed. It's actually really good size. I fell asleep in there last night with Jake's and there was enough space for me and both the kids. And then that bunk is directly above the dinette, which is the U-shaped dinette. So this is one of the main reasons why we got this rig, was because it has the U-shaped dinette, even though it's up against the bed, so it's not eating too much into your living area. This table folds up and down and moves around. It's nice having it like this because then someone can kind of sit down and use it while they're on the couch, and then you got people who can use tables over in that corner, but then you still get good access over there. Little storage stuff up here is actually pretty cool. We haven't used it, but it's nice to be able to just like stick keys and whatever up there. Every window has these little black things. What are these called?
Blinds.
Blinds. This is the couch, which folds down. We did that last night and Jake's just kind of laid down and watched a movie. It's pretty comfy. Not necessarily the comfiest as a bed, but pretty comfy as a couch. And that's the second major reason why we got this unit and liked it, was because A, the U-shaped dinette is kind of snugged up back there, and then also the couch is in the slide, so the couch is like almost entirely outside of the rig, so you have this entire big floor space that makes it look, not makes it look, it makes it a lot bigger. That was like the main thing that we really loved about this layout. And all this upper storage, we use this for like kids games and DVDs and movies and stuff like that, but they're, again, pretty deep. You can see like 2 feet deep probably. And we have all these. Nadia's been doing her little, what's it called, locker storage type stuff with these baskets and
all from the Dollar Tree.
All kinds of Dollar Tree goodies. This is the kitchen area, which is by our standards, which is pop-up standards. Very nice. TV, you got this Furion entertainment system that I mentioned that you can play indoor, outdoor. It's also the DVD player that hooks up to the TV. And then you have just tons
TV's on the swivel mount.
Oh yeah,
so
pop out that TV and
Oh.
show them how it's like. Yeah, so they can like watch it in bed or point it towards our bed or whatever. And just gives you a lot of options to keeping the kids out of your hair, which is always the goal.
Tucks right back.
The other cool thing is this kitchen has just like a ton of storage. That's all food storage for us. Under the stove, you got these 3 drawers, which is all of our like utensils and barbecue tools, and then down there is where she does all of her pots and pans. We're not even using all this storage. Like I said, we're coming from a little pop-up, so we're like kind of still in shock about how much space. You can see this whole giant cabinet has 2 plates in there. So, and then we have this whole entire pantry, which again we're barely using right now. We have like plates and glasses and stuff like that in there, but it's like all the way down to the floor. And then this is like a big, basically armoire for our purposes, but you can use it in the pantry or whatever. And we just have like permanent clothes in here, camping clothes and stuff, towels, bath towels.
That's where the bedding is when you're storing storage.
Yeah, when we store the trailer, we put all of our bedding in there. This is the fridge freezer. It's not the full residential fridge freezer, but the thing I like about it is that it is the gas and electric. So if we're ever boondocking or whenever we decide to start boondocking, we can, you know, we can run the fridge on propane if we need to. And then the back bed is supposedly what, the smaller, I think, of the 2. But I kind of like having this as the parents because it's just a little bit more private. You have the the kind of bathroom dividing, and so you know, it makes it feel like you're a little bit more tucked in there. And then last is the bathroom, where we've got, you know, decent size bathroom with a toilet and shower. For us, the shower is fine. Nadia and I are both short, but you do have this kind of little skylight thingy, which, you know, you could shove your head up in there if you're like a 6.5 footer or whatever. But I've actually showered in here many times. Has a decent little, let's see, decent little sink. Perfect for brushing your teeth and all that good stuff. And a medicine cabinet. So yeah, overall, this was like the other reason why we stepped up from the pop-up, was so that we could have the option to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night without running across to the camp bathroom, and to be able to shower in a pinch, like when we're using it to live out of for work every now and then. We're not full-timers, obviously. So, you know, for weekend warriors, it's a perfect bathroom. Yeah, one of the things this trailer has that's one of those things that you're like, dude, I'll never need that, is the power awning. When we had our pop-up, we had like all these poles and stuff. When you wanted to put the awning out, it was such a pain. We're like, oh, you don't need a power awning, but man, once you have one of those things that you totally don't need, and once you have it, you're like, I love this. But the coolest parts, I think, are these two speakers, because on that Furrion thing you can play music inside, outside, or inside and outside, and that's the bomb. We actually do use that all the time. The last thing I didn't show is this stuff, which is we have the Dometic, what's this thing called? A thermostat for running the heater, and the AC, I think, too.
AC's up here.
Oh no, the AC is all controlled, I guess, up here. The inside has largely been Nadia's domain to this point. I haven't done a lot in terms of looking around in here, but air conditioner does work. We've used that for sure. And then we have all these little meters to control your, you know, your whatever this stuff is, black tank, gray tank. You can check your levels, like my battery's full, my fresh tank is completely empty. That's those 400 pounds that we're not using. Our black is somehow 2/3 full, and our gray is 1/3 full. So we're on hookups, so I will be checking that out outside right now, but this is where you control your water heater and your water pump too. Is about it. We have used the oven for the first time. Nadia made some biscuits for breakfast yesterday, and it's actually worked super good, and they weren't burned before we made them on the road trip grill out there, and it was alright, but this was a lot better. Yeah, overall, I would say I'm pumped on this thing. It works exactly the way we need to, right?
Definitely.
Good to go for multiple years.
Definitely.
It's also really easy to set up. I think we got set up in about
20 minutes.
25 minutes in terms of popping out all the hookups, beds down, beds made. And the nice thing about having a trailer just in general, and a travel trailer, is everything just kind of lives in here. We have a trailer set of everything. Like I said, the trailer tools, the trailer dishes, the trailer, you know, sheets and bedding and all that good stuff, trailer clothes. So the goal is to make it as easy as humanly possible, so that it's basically like food and drink, essentially, when you want to go camping, right? And that's
Sure.
like the thing that's gonna kind of make you not want to do it, is if it becomes burdensome and you got to do all this stuff and jump through all these hoops. If you make it super easy on yourself, then you give yourself the best opportunity to go out as much as humanly possible.
And the more time spent outside and the more time spent camping, the better for everyone.
Exactly, right. That's why we work, not so that we can sit there hammering away at the keyboard all day, and so that we can come out and do stuff like this.